What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Just wanted to give the 2-week final update of cutting caffeine, cutting coffee, like finally bringing back all the extra stimulants that I've been using to mask some of my fatigue. And, I got to say, the beginning was absolutely harder than I anticipated it would be. I didn't realize truly how addicted to coffee and caffeine that I was until I really cut it. And in full disclosure, I mean, I weaned off a little bit over a couple day period, and I went from like 600 to 800 milligrams a day to probably maybe I had 60 to 80 for a day and a half. And then the rest of the time, I filled it in the morning with like 1 cup of green tea, which was roughly about 25 milligrams of caffeine. And that was just a little bit more of the ritualistic side of it. I wasn't super concerned about going completely cold turkey and all that. And my goal was never drink coffee again. I love coffee. I love the taste. I love the ritual, all of that. But in the beginning, those cravings were real. And the cravings were like, it wasn't just like, man, a cup of coffee sounds good. It was like, no, it's like I was selling myself on all the reasons why I should have a cup of coffee. The fatigue in the afternoons was real. Like I was worn out. I was irritable. I was a cranky little bitch, honestly. I think my patience with my family was affected 100%. But honestly, like tea really helped fill the gap. It helped balance me out. It helped get me away from the coffee. I really focused more on my sleep because I knew I was going to need that. And this was all part of me trying to reset by doing this challenge, if you will. So I really focused on my sleep. Instead of my normal, I normally just automatically wake up around 5 a.m. I almost every day just jump right into get to work and get started and going because I just walk right outside to my office. In this instance, I was allowing myself to sleep till about 6:30 and getting a little bit more sleep, really focusing on trying to sleep as much as possible. And as I talked about in the previous video, you could really see the dip in some of my recoveries and how I was feeling on my Whoop strap. And what I found was after I got over that little hump, those first 3-4 days, my recovery really started to climb again. And I averaged out at about a 90% recovery. And that was still with some travel. That was still with getting plenty of steps in. It was still with training, at a pretty good volume, doing all the things that I would normally do. So my sleep was super improved. My dreams were better. I was sleeping much deeper. I was back to like, maybe this is TMI, but like I was actually like angry when I would have to wake up to go pee in the middle of the night. Like I'd be almost like angry because I was so groggy. Like I don't normally feel that way. Normally I'm up so many different times of the night, like sleeping very light, that it's not a big deal for me to just get up and go to the bathroom. So I noticed some of these things as I went through that were starting to change. And then when I passed that curve of like the, crackhead in me wanting to drink another cup of coffee just for coffee or just for caffeine, and when I kind of got across that hump to where, and it was about, I want to say like maybe day 10 when I really felt this way and I noticed it, where I wanted a cup of coffee, but I just wanted a cup of coffee because I enjoy coffee. I like the way it tastes. I love a cup of coffee in the morning. Like it's the ritual. But I wanted that aspect of it. It was no longer about this like addict level. If I don't get caffeine in my system, I'm going to have a miserable day feeling. It was just like, no, it just kind of sounds nice. And I became aware of that. And it was kind of a pivotal moment in this whole experience for me because it helped me realize like, oh, I finally bust through the other side of breaking some of this habit and this addiction. And that was really awesome, I have to say. And I would say that like I'm in a really good rhythm now. It's been 2 days, I believe, 3 days where I'm back on drinking a cup of coffee, sometimes 2 in the morning. So I noticed that if I drink 1, I'm often just maybe having a second cup, half of a second cup. I don't have this insatiable need where normally I'd just be pounding coffee. Like 1 and I feel good. And I would call that, mission accomplished. I don't have the afternoon crash. My brain feels clear. I feel more rested. My workouts are better. My recovery is better. My body feels better. I don't have like the nagging, achy joint feeling like I usually have. So I don't know if maybe there's a low-level inflammation that coffee causes. I don't know if it's related to my recovery is just so much better that I'm just feeling better. But I think it's mission accomplished. And, I did this challenge for multiple things, multiple reasons. One, because I knew it would be hard. And I enjoy doing hard things that challenge me because it helps me to lean into some of that pressure and lean into that resistance of stuff I don't want to do. And I like challenging myself. But the other side of it is I knew that I needed to recover. I knew I needed to bring it back. And, during a lot of this, like, I cannot express to you how close I was to caving multiple times. Even the day before it was ending, I was like, damn, a cup of coffee just sounds delicious right now. And again, not because I was like fiending for the caffeine. It just sounded delicious. And it was all about, to me, it was building more trust with myself. And I made a commitment to myself that I was going to see this through. And I knew that I couldn't break that commitment because our bodies and our minds know that if they can convince us that no matter what we choose, that we can talk ourselves out of it, then our words no longer have value with ourselves. Our mind doesn't trust our words. We're like, yeah, you've told me this stuff before. Like, that's all right, buddy. Come on. How about that cup of coffee? It's those little things. So when the next time that I make a commitment to myself, or I make a commitment to my family, or I make a commitment to my customers, or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, or I'm going to work really hard at this, I'm slowly building credit with myself. I'm building these blocks of trust with my own subconscious so that now the next time I do something, I believe myself. And it becomes easier to do something the next time because I know I've already done hard things. I know I do what I say I'm going to do. So stop fighting it. And that's really like the gist of why I wanted to do this. Yes, the health and all that was super important to me. I was curious to see what would happen. But it was all about building more trust with myself and belief in my words and that they have value with myself. And I have to say, I was a little underwhelmed with that first cup of coffee. I kind of thought like, I'm going to drink this cup of coffee and it's going to be like rocket fuel. I thought I was going to leap out of my chair and just be ready to go. I thought my pulse would be racing. And it was nothing like that. Super chill, mild. Honestly, didn't even really like notice the caffeine so much. I just noticed that, damn, it tasted good. And I would tell you that the best thing you could do would be to find some things like this that maybe it challenges you. Maybe yours is Monster Energy, Bang energy drinks, poison, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm guilty. I've drank them, but they're not good for us. Maybe it's smoking. Maybe it's anything that you may be doing purely out of habit that challenging yourself to stop doing for a period of time just to see if you can do it. And that challenge is real. And I think that I would really encourage you to do some of these things that are hard or uncomfortable because you will build more trust with yourself. You will build more authority with yourself, and that will just carry over into everything else you do. So those are the big lessons that I took from it. Glad I did it. I may try and do some of this. I read a study where it's, basically one week a month you should cut out caffeine because of I believe it was like the adenosine builds up in your system and blah, 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 blah. It's like all your receptors get saturated. If you pull it out, then the effects of caffeine get better. Your sleep will get better. You will improve. So I may experiment with pulling back maybe a couple times a month, taking it easy, not so much caffeine. But more importantly, I'm going to be very conscious of not allowing myself to get to that point again, to keep raising it, to taking all the pre-workout and all this and this caffeine here, caffeine there, 400 milligrams in the afternoon. I'm just going to bring it back, stay at the baseline, homeostasis. So I'm actively looking for my next challenge, maybe an Andy Frisella, cold shower every morning type thing. Sounds awful. Might be looking into doing some of that this fall. And if you guys have any ideas or something else that you've done or that you think would be interesting, I'm all open to it. Let me know in the comments below. If you feel like this message could be shared with anybody, please share it. Like, subscribe, hit all the bell buttons down below. Helps it out. Again, we're going to keep building this and doing better and better on these videos. And we're going to do it for a couple years. And we're just going to make the commitment now because, again, we're building trust with ourselves. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we'll see you guys.